All right, it is now 8:01 p.m. and we are going to get started. Everybody can see my screen. Can you give me a thumbs up? Perfect. We are um, we are this year's contest team, and I just want to do this is our first session. So I might be looking to the right, but I'm looking at my second screen because I have two screens. So I'll just say that. So I'm looking at my second screen for the presentation and at this screen for everything else. So this is our first training session for the year. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. And let me just show you the agenda. The agenda, is this big enough? Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Teresa, can you change your screen? Because we're looking at the slides on the left-hand side.
You're looking at the slides on the
Yeah,
left.
we're looking at your screen, but you need to go to, where is it?
You need to start the slideshow from the beginning. We have thumbnails going down the left-hand side.
Ah, okay, I see. And now you're looking at my PowerPoint slide, right? Okay, so I will, just one second. I am going to do something else here. So this is actually a Canva presentation. I use Canva for a lot of things. Good. Okay, people are coming in. So how's that?
There you go. Perfect.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. All right. So Linda, could you let people in for me, please? Thank
I
you.
will.
As I said before, this is our first training session for the contest, and we have a couple more scheduled, but I'll put out those dates a little bit later. Right now, this is what we're going to cover during this presentation. We'll introduce the people that are on the team. We'll set and get expectations. We'll talk about the deadlines for the contest and which contests we're actually having. We'll also review the club contest rules and the contestants' rules or eligibility. I'll show you where to find contest training videos and other resources that should be at your fingertips. And then I'll share some incentives for clubs to participate in hosting contests this year. That's really a big thing that our leadership would like, is rather than sending representatives, our leadership would like to see clubs host contests and participate. And then we'll have a Q&A session. So with introductions, I am going to call on my team and then just ask them to give their name and what club they belong to and how long they've been a Toastmaster. That's just an easy way for us to kind of introduce ourselves. I'll start with me. I'm Teresa Middleton. I've been with Toastmasters since 2018, February 2018. I am a member of Hostess City Toastmasters Club, and I am honored to be chosen as your contest chair this year. And then we'll go to Denise James. Denise?
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Teresa. I am Denise James. I am a member of two clubs, Riverwalk Toastmasters number 7106 in Augusta, Georgia, and Charlie Norwood VA Medical Center Club 067, I can't remember the number, 6783. I have been a Toastmaster since 2004. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, but my heart still lives in District 14.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Linda Rogers.
Trying to unmute here. My name is Linda Rogers. I've been in Toastmasters for 8 years now. I'm a member of 3 clubs: Classic City Toastmasters, Athens Toastmasters, and UGA Griffin Campus Toastmasters. I was last year's District 14 contest chair, and I am doing my best to lend my experience to the incoming team, who will be great this year. Back to you, Teresa.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Linda. And let's see who else we have on here. Brenda Lloyd.
Yay, Brenda.
Good evening. I am Brenda Lloyd. I have been in Toastmasters for 2 years, and I am a part of Statesboro Toastmasters Club and Richmond Hill Toastmasters Club. I'm glad to be helping out. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you so much. Roche Wells. Roche, are you there? There you go.
Yes, ma'am. Trying to unmute. Good morning, everyone. I can't find my camera. I don't think I have my hair did. My name is Roche Wells. I am a member of 3 clubs: Sage Intact Toastmasters, that's a corporate club; the Central Mississippi Advancing Toastmasters Club out of Jackson, Mississippi; and the illustrious Gwinnett Tucker Toastmasters Club number 833 of Tucker, Georgia. I am elated to be a part of this committee. I am the winner of the 2022 Humorous Speech Contest for District 14. Did I get the year right? 22? Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Roche. And our last member that's on tonight is Sharon Ruggs. Sharon, can you share with us who you are, your club?
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sharon Ruggs Hubbard. I have been a part of Toastmasters since April of 2023 of this year, and I'm only a part of one Toastmasters group, and that is the Hostess City Toastmasters.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for your participation and for being on this team. In fact, we have a varied amount of experience on our team, which is perfect for what we're trying to do. So thank you so much for being here. Our next slide is, I just want to set a few expectations, and we're going to start with just this slide right here. Our team got together and we did a little exercise to kind of talk about what we wanted out of this contest year. And the main thing was work as a team. That got 5 votes from all of the team members. The next one is know the rules. And then we wanted to make sure everybody was trained, not just on our team, but also on other teams or other clubs, all the way down to the club level. We want to be a resource for all levels of the contest, from club level all the way up, of course, to district. And we want to ensure that when we run the contest at the club levels all the way up to the district, that our contest master, and sometimes that can also be our contest chair, that they are well trained and understand the rules. We want to make it fun as well. And then we want to assign the best people to the best task. And then we want to be able to communicate well with each other. So those are our expectations. And as I said before, there is another expectation that has been offered by the district level leadership. And that is, we'd like to see all of the clubs, 100% of the clubs, host their contest rather than just sending a representative. I'll have something else in here to kind of help us do that, because I know there are some obstacles to doing that. Being a club president myself, I understand that, but the goal is 100% club level participation by hosting a contest. We also, and this is my specific goal, I want this year to be the best contest year ever. How do we do that? We get everybody participating and everybody included in the contest. That is my idea of the best contest ever, as well as making sure the rules are followed, making sure everybody's having fun, and some of those other expectations that we set from before. What I'd like to do now is to find out what your expectations are for this contest year. So if you would just drop in the chat a couple of things about what you're expecting from the contest this year. And I'll give us 2 minutes to do that, because I know I sprung it on you. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to think about it, but I really want to know what your expectations are, and hopefully we'll be able to meet those expectations. I'm going to turn on my handy dandy Toastmasters timer, and I'm going to set it for a table topic. And now there we go. Any ideas of what you're looking for from this contest? What would make the contest a great contest for you? And everybody can put anything in the chat, including the folks on the team. I would love to hear your ideas and thoughts. Great present. Let's see. Let's see. Increase in participation, because our team did such a good job of getting the rules out, keeping everyone informed and confident that they know the rules. Engagement. Okay, very good. Not ending up in second place again. Okay, that's a personal goal. All right, having the best contest. Anything else? What does the best contest mean?
I wrote that, Sharon, and I'm like, for people to come and say, this is the best one we've ever been a part of or been to, and that it just was flawless. I don't want to say flawless because things happen, but even when you have hiccups, people can't tell that there are hiccups. Like it's just.
So a smooth running contest.
Smooth running contest, yes.
Okay.
But still,
No.
the atmosphere is good and the energy is high, and people want, people just enjoy it.
Okay, perfect. Each club having an understanding of the rules of engagement and fun. Having a lot of contestants. Perfect. Okay, well, I am at 2 minutes now on my Toastmasters timer. So thank you guys so much for participating in that little exercise. I always like to know what people are expecting and what they are looking for, and hopefully we are able to meet that. I believe we will be. I'm really excited about what's happening with the contest and the team that we have and everything that's going on. So I'm going to share with you, and you probably see it on your screens already, but what I want to share is the contest deadlines. We have 2 contests this year. The mandatory contest, of course, is the international contest, and it comes at the latter half of the year. The first or complimentary contest that we have is the humorous speech contest. And the humorous speech contest, you can see the dates there, the end of October for clubs. Clubs must provide their winner to the next level, to the area by the end of October. And then the area must complete their contest by the end of November. And then, of course, our divisions, just like last year, they have an option of doing or performing separate contests or combining the two contests at the end of the year. So we have Miss Barbara Lars. Miss Barbara is going to tell us about the humorous speech contest eligibility. I'm having a hard time with your last name, Barbara. Can you share that
It's-
with us?
It's Laracy.
Laracy. Thank you so much for that pronunciation.
That's okay. Everybody mispronounces it.
Laracy.
Yes, the humorous speech contest is the easiest contest to qualify for. All you have to do is have your dues paid and be in a club that is in good standing, which means that the club has the minimum number of paid members with Toastmasters International. No number of speeches needed, anything like that, and you're good to go. All you got to do is pay your dues.
Okay, perfect. And we're going to go to the next slide. Humorous speech contest rules. And we have Miss Denise James, who is going to talk to us about that.
Are we going to do the functionaries first or the
Yes,
rules
ma'am.
first?
Functionaries first.
All right, thank you. I have a cheat sheet over here that speaks to me. In other words, for those of you that have never met me, I'm visually impaired, although I had it very well. The contest functionaries or roles of people involved, we're going to start with, as Teresa already mentioned, your contest chair, and your contest master. They can be separate people or one and the same. You are next going to have a chief judge, of majorly vital importance to the success of a contest. You're going to have, for the club and the area, at least a minimum of 5 voting judges. There will be 2 ballot counters, and those ballots must match up with the first, second, third place winners before they can be announced at the contest end. There will be 2 timers. One timer will operate at the district level. You'll see the big red, green, yellow, red setup. Virtually, you have the colored backgrounds. And the backup timer will have a stopwatch so that those times should agree. Contestants, well, we must have contestants. And with those contestants, a briefing. There's always a briefing before the contest is held. And then, of course, the climactic event, the club contest in this training, the district contest, next April.
All right.
Did
I
I
want
forget?
to, Denise, if I can help you out. I don't know if you mentioned the tie-breaking judge.
Oh, I
Has to
forgot.
be that's all right. That's all right. There must be a tie-breaking judge as part of those functionaries. And even though you think you may not need a tie-breaking judge, it's very important that you have one just in case, so that you're not jumping through hoops to try to figure out how to break a tie. Okay.
And I'll follow up with the reason that you have that tie-breaking judge. If there were an event of a tie in first, second, or third place, according to what the ballot counters come up with, that tie-breaking judge, that is the only time that they will actually open and use that ballot from that tie-breaking judge. Then when they have the positions first, second, and third based on the tie being broken, then those get presented for the awards at the end of the contest. If there is not a need for that ballot, it gets destroyed. It never even gets open, but it's always there just in case, as she said.
Very good. Thank you. The next slide, Denise, is the speech and the contest rules, talking about speech originality, and the speech contest rules.
Originality is it's of vital importance to any speech, international as well as the humorous speech. The subject must be originating with the contestant. Nobody else should say, I think you should speak on this, and here's what I wrote for you to do. Must be your original material. You will say, we're all going to participate that aren't on the team, right? You are going to, there's a form, I think it's 11, that Teresa's going to share that with you. But in that form, for every contest, you put your name, the contest date, your title. If it's table topics or evaluation, you put evaluation or table topics. You go down that list, you check off the level, area, club area on up. The next level, you put which contest it is. Evaluation, table topics, humorous, check that off. Below that, you are signing and verifying that you are eligible to compete in the contest. Below that, you certify that your material is original to you, that you made that up, and you verify and you sign on the dotted line before the contest ever begins that that is your original material. As far as the contest rules,
just one second, Denise. I don't know if you said this, but number one is 25% of the speech can be devoted, only not more than 25% of the speech can be devoted to quotes or other reference materials. So that's very important as well. Is there anything else you'd like to say about that, Denise?
Well, it ties into the rules here as well. The general rules in the rule book up to the point where it specifies other things for the specific contest, that 25% comes in. There must be, you must have your own theme, a thematic. It must have an opening body, a closing. It has to be your own material. It cannot be a series of one-liners or a monologue. And 25% is what Teresa just added, that could be paraphrased, quoted, but you must also give credit in your speech to where you quoted, had your quote from, or who you referenced. And you also cannot refer to anyone else's speech that is competing with you in that contest. Did I clear that up?
Yes, ma'am. Perfect. All right. One other thing that you have mentioned on here is that your language should not be objectionable. So, or talking about politics or talking, using foul language or things like that.
That's right. Even though before the beginning of a contest, we will hear that some material may offend some members. Not to say that you can go right out there and cuss up a storm in your speech or talk about religion, sex, or politics. Those are kind of no-nos. Thank you.
Perfect. Now, where can you find information? These are actually links that you can use to get to this information. But what I'm going to do, most of this information is in a Google Drive, and I wanted to provide you with as much information as I could to help you prepare for your own contest. So there's a humorous speech contest kit, and there's a rule book, of course. And then what our last year's team did, which I am so happy about, is they put together some videos, some training videos that you can watch and just learn as much as you can about contests. So let me just show you, let's start with that training video. So this, This is the D14 training website, training YouTube channel. And down here, there are speech contest training. And because the rules have not changed from last year to this, except for a minor clarification, these videos are still applicable. You can use them. In fact, the one that I would recommend is starting with the fabulous, how to have a fabulous contest. In this video, JD talks about what the contest requirements are, or the contestants' eligibility requirements. She talks about the judging requirements, the timers requirements, the ballot counters requirements, and especially she talks about what the contest chair or contest master has to do. So this particular video is broken up into sections or chapters, and you can just go out there, watch a little bit at a time, and beef up your knowledge about what the rules are for these contests. I cannot emphasize it enough. We need to know the rules, and these videos are out here for us to do that. The next thing that I want to share with you is I have put together in my Google account the speech kits. Now you can get these off of the Toastmasters.org. Just look for Humor Speech Contest Kit. But the thing is, when you look for that on Toastmasters.org, it has last year's rule book in it, which there are not very many differences, but I would still recommend that you get the latest rule book. And in this folder, which you're going to have as well, is you'll see this is the latest rule book for 2023 through 2024. As I said, there's not very many changes, but you still want to have the latest just in case somebody asks you. And you can go through this rule book and look for information, or you can use the rule book along with the video so that you can follow along. It's really up to you. The other thing that I have in here, as I mentioned, is the Humor Speech Contest Kit. And the file that, and let me make this a little bit bigger. This is the Speaker Certification of Eligibility and Originality. This is the form that Denise was speaking about earlier. And you can see here that it talks about what the eligibility is, as well as originality. You have to say at each level that your speech is original. You just click which level you're competing in, do your contest date, title, signature, and printed version. We have a question from Wayne. Wayne, go ahead with your question.
Actually, it's two quick questions. One, the rule book is downloadable from the website.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
rule book is downloadable from Toastmasters.org. It is, but if you go out there and you look for the Humor Speech Contest Kit, when those files or forms are downloaded, it downloads the 2022-2023 rule book. So if you want the latest, you can either go to this folder that I have, which you'll have access to, and it has the latest rule book in it. Or you can go to Toastmasters.org and download that specific book.
The other question was, I know in the past, I haven't done this in a couple of years, but in the past, if you go to the store to get the kit, you have to buy the kit. It's not free.
It was free, and it is, well, I don't know. I didn't go to the store. I just did a quick Google, I'm sorry, I did a quick search on Toastmasters.org
Yes.
for humorous speech contest kit, and I was able to download it automatically. However, if you don't want to go through that process, you can use the link that I'm going to share with you. In fact, I'll share it now in the chat. I'll share it now, and you can just get all your forms from this Google Drive. And there you are. Okay?
Teresa,
Yes, ma'am.
can I share that when I went to, as far as looking for the current speech contest handbook on Toastmasters.org, I just put in the search field 2023, 2024 speech contest rule book, and it brought me the top result is the rule book, and the only choice is to download. So you can do it that way if you're getting the kit and you want to just get also, or just want the rule book, you can do it that way. And I heard voiceover read off the question in the chat, and it was answered by Charles, I think. Can you use the same speech at the club, area, division, and district? Absolutely. It's your original material. That's how you won your club contest. That's how that speech, you can use a different speech but I found it with the year that I competed, and I made it all the way to the district, that yes, that one speech, I gave it, same one. So absolutely.
Okay, perfect. All right, so now I just want to go to one other thing, and that is, how are we going to do this? As I recognize as a president of a club, and we have 20 members in our club, but we have only about 7 or 8 people that attend. So to be able to put on a contest, it can be resource intensive, meaning that do we have enough people in our club to put on a contest? And I think that's been the problem in the past. And so people opt out. So what I'm offering here as a club incentive, and that is to provide you support for your contest. If you look at what I have on the screen, I have an area, I have a hierarchy chart, and I have the area director plus 4 clubs. Typically, it's about 4 clubs in each area. Some have 3, some have 5, some have 6. But typically, it's about 4 clubs. So what I'm suggesting, or what I'm putting forth to us, is to have a collaboration within our areas. So I'm calling this Speech Fusion Collaboration, or collaborative, a Speech Fusion Collaborative. And what that means is, so I'm going to explain it. So each club would first identify the contest date, identify a contest chair, a chief judge, and then 1 volunteer. Okay, so that's 3 people in the club that's holding the contest. And then in the other 3 clubs within that area, identify 3 volunteers. And then what I would suggest is that you come together. Now, the reason I say 3 volunteers, because you really only need 12 people to run a contest. You need 12 people to run a contest. If you collaborate with the other clubs in your area, it's going to be easier for you. Now, 2 clubs can run a contest at the same time. 1 club can run a contest with the support of those other clubs in the area. It's going to be up to you, but this is one way to get each club hosting a speech contest. Now, what does that mean and what does that look like? There's going to need to be some collaboration, some coordination, And I would hope, I can't say this yet, I'm going to pitch this to the deck on Saturday, but I would hope that the area director could help in putting this together, or that each club president would identify 3 people from their club and then get those people together and hold a contest based on the contest date that the club has identified. It is going to take some coordination. It is going to require you to plan ahead. So if you, let's do it like this. For everyone that is here tonight and you are in a club, when do you believe that you can get 3 volunteers from your club to participate in this collaborative? In other words, can you find a contest chair, a chief judge, and 1 volunteer in your club? Yes or no? Okay, perfect. Now, if you can do that, could you at another time find 3 volunteers in your club to help another club host a contest? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, perfect. Now, what I'm going to ask you next is I'm going to ask you if you would put in a date that you think your club will hold your contest. Just put in a date. It can be any date. It can be 2 weeks out. It can be 3 weeks out. It can be at the end of October, as long as it's before the end of October and your contest can be held then. Would you put in a date that, do we have any leaders, club officers on the call? Club officers on the call? Would you, those club officers, would you recommend a date for your club to host a club meeting?
I heard 2 for October 10th.
Okay, October 10th. All right. Are these 2 clubs that said October 10th, are they in the same area? It doesn't matter. No worries. You don't have to be in the same area. I just want to get a feel. I want to get a feel for what you're thinking. So I am a club officer of Hostess City Toastmasters Club, and I am going to put in the chat, I think we can do it the 3rd week of October. We can find 3 people who would be willing to do this. Now, the 3rd week of October, what I'm going to go back to my club and do is suggest that week, and it can be during your weekly meeting, suggest that 3rd week of October and ask for volunteers for a contest chair, judge, a chief judge, and a volunteer for that particular date. And then I'm going to get with our area director or another club that can also volunteer 3 people for that date. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is help us begin this speech fusion collaborative. It's going to take an effort, but I think if we put that effort in, we all can hold a club contest and submit a name for the area directors contest. Okay, now I'm going to go to, we have about 20 minutes left. I'm going to go to Q&A, and I want,
Teresa,
yes, who has a question?
before this thought leaves my mind, when you were talking about the training resources, I really want to promote the Not Ready for Primetime Players video that is on there. And Linda's probably going to start laughing because she's one of the stars. The do's and don'ts set up in an old-fashioned dragnet type of theme. I find personally that when material is presented to me in a humorous fashion, I retain it a little bit better. it covers everything. Yep, everything that you do right that makes for an awesome contest like ours is going to be, or everything that you swing by the seat of your pants and hope it goes well. And I can't wait until after my surgery that I can actually see J.D. Dirkschneider, who plays a character, Joshua Arugula. And I laughed when you couldn't say Barbara Larsey's name, because during that whole video, that arugula gets said so many different ways. So I encourage everyone, pull that up on that YouTube training site and watch it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. I'm sure I haven't watched it yet, but I'm sure it's hilarious. And Linda's smiling big over there, so I think she enjoyed it as well. Enjoyed actually participating in it and putting it out there for us. So thank you so much, Denise, for reminding me of doing that. And I just put in the chat the link to our District 14 contest training YouTube channel. So please take advantage of that. Now we're going to go on to our Q&A session. So if you have any questions regarding anything we've covered tonight, whether it be over the rules or how to collaborate to get volunteers to help with your contest, we're open for questions.
And let us know if there's something more specific that you would like addressed by us as a team. I know the judges, that is going to be fully addressed, and more training. There's plenty of training on that D14 YouTube training site as well. But we'll be focusing on the judges at one point more heavily.
Wow, you guys are really quiet. You got it under control?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
From the video that you put in the chat, I'm sorry, in the meeting invite last week, I didn't make the meeting, but I watched the video. And she was talking about using electronic devices during a contest. I just wanted an example of that, like, because she said, even if you're asking directions to the Coke machine, you'll be disqualified. So I didn't have a clear understanding why someone would use an electronic device.
Well, I think that was the point. You cannot use an electronic device at any time. But that was for the table topic specifically. And
Okay.
also, I see Linda took her mute button off. So I'll defer to Linda on this as well.
You are right, Teresa. When we talk about electronic devices, we're talking about table topics and the evaluation speech contests, where the contestants are sequestered in another room until it's their turn to speak on that same table topic question, or to evaluate that one and only person who gave the speech. And the idea is they're not supposed to hear the other contestants give their speeches. So you cannot have any electronic devices like a cell phone in the room, because you don't want somebody to text you to say, oh, here was the question for table topics, or this person made a really good point when they did the evaluation for this other person's speech. So that's what it's referring to for electronic devices.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. The question here is, will this year's contest be online for all levels above club, or will they be in person? The district will have a hybrid contest this year, which means that the divisions as well as the areas and even the clubs, if you have a hybrid club, are allowed to have a hybrid contest.
Does it have to be a hybrid contest, or is this a case where the area and divisions can choose which way they want to have their contest, in person, online, or hybrid?
The district will definitely have a hybrid contest, and it is up to the divisions and divisions and areas if they would like to have they can have an online or in person or a hybrid contest. It's solely up to them. However, the district will have a hybrid contest.
If I could also make a comment here about the humorous speech content, the actual topic that an individual would choose for their humorous speech. We talk about no more than 25% of your speech can be attributed to someone else. You have to be at least 75% original. What people may not realize with this, though, is that you really need to be original, which sometimes can be hard in today's society. If you are going to make up a speech around a movie that you saw, that is not original. That's going to be more than 25% from someone else, or a book that you read, or even a story that you have been told by family members of some sort. It really may not, you may think it is your mother's story from her life, but it really may be a story from something else. So when you talk about the content for your humorous speech, be really careful what you choose and make sure that what you think you're presenting is not out there on the internet somewhere for millions of people to already read.
And if I can piggyback on what Linda said, really personal experiences are a lot easier to use, because if it happened to you, then you know that it's yours. You don't have to worry about it maybe being from something else. I gave a speech one time about my adventure of taking my son to a theme park for the first time. And it happened to me. It was an experience that any other parent could relate to, but it was my story. And so I didn't have to worry about whether it was original or not, because it was original. It was mine.
And she had him on a leash.
You can find humor in everyday things, and just looking at things from a different point of view can be absolutely hilarious. So really think about what you want to do with that, because you don't want to get up there and just give like a whole bunch of one-liner joke stuff. This is not a stand-up comedy contest. This is a humorous speech contest, which means you're finding humor in the world around you. So there are lots of things that you can use without using sources or running the risk of using someone else's material, whether you realize it or not. So I would try and stick to personal experiences, because those can be really funny. Of course, usually it's much funnier long after it happens, especially if it involved you doing something stupid.
Let me add in here too, that when she gave that speech, I've known Barbara for so many years. Chris was a young boy, and she had him hooked in one of those wrist leashes in that theme park. And that made it all that much more funny when she gave the speech, because he had her tangled in all kind of stuff.
Perfect. Thank you,
Yeah.
Denise. We have a
You're
question in
welcome.
the chat. It says, if a contestant is disqualified for any reason, how are they notified before the results are given? Before the chief judge gives the results to the contest master, the chief judge will notify the contestant prior to making the announcements of the winners. Does anybody have anything else to add to that discussion?
Linda?
No, Teresa,
Yes.
this is Charlotte Summers.
Hey there.
How are you?
I'm good.
I have a question. I need clarification. I know in our club, we have only had one person who has wanted to actually participate in a speech contest. Does that person need to go through the speech contest in their home club in order to be sent on to the area contest?
You know, that is a good question. It's highly encouraged that each club runs or hosts a contest, but you cannot host a contest if you only have one participant. So in that case, although I would highly encourage other people to participate and to compete, in that case, if you don't have anyone in your club that wants to compete except for one person, then then that would have to be the situation. That one person's name would be sent up as a representative for your club. However, as I said, we encourage that more than one. I mean, you can have a contest with two people. If there are two people in your club that are willing to compete in a humorous speech contest or international speech contest, I would encourage that. But if you only have one person who so desires, I mean, there's really nothing else that you can do.
Also, if this
Uh,
should this person give their speech
Yes.
in the club
Mhm.
and to qualify for time?
So
Yes,
Denise has some, go
I
ahead.
was going to add that if you have the one person, just the one person, I would have them give their speech in the club atmosphere. Disqualification on time, talking about the club level, and Linda might have to help me here because she's really the queen, could probably still advance that one name to the area, but they better not mess up at the area level on time. At the area and division, they still are, well, at the area level, in their area, they're going to have to compete, but they still have to give that speech. If they're the only representative from that area moving up to the division, and of course, they're going to give that speech. But if they're only one, if they are the only participant and we've had this happen in the area in Division E, we've had this happen where there's only been one person competing for that area win, but they still have to give their speech and they still have to qualify on time to advance on to the division to compete there. But I'm not so clear on in the club if they disqualify based on, and in the time and the club level, Linda, can you help me out?
I'd be happy to. At the club level, the club can choose their contestant any way they want. They can draw straws. They can have only one person who is interested in being a contestant. People might be voluntold. They can choose their contestant any way they want. But if they hold a speech contest according to TI rules, then the results of that contest are final. If you have one contestant and you decide to hold a speech contest at the club level and that person goes over time, then that contestant is disqualified and your club has no contestants going forward for that event. But if at the club level you choose somebody who's volunteered, is the only person interested, you do not hold a speech contest, then it doesn't matter how long that person's speech is. When they practice it at the club level, their name goes forward as that club's contestant. However, when you reach the area, the division, or the district level, then you have to have a contest. And even if you only have one contestant at the area level, you still hold the contest and the person has to qualify. They have to be a paid member of a club in good standing at the time of the contest. They need to stay within time. They have to be at least 75% original, et cetera, et cetera. Back
Thank
to you.
you.
Does that help, Charla? Thank you. Okay, we have about 5 minutes left. Are there any other questions?
Those are really good questions.
Very good. Any other questions? Being no questions, all hearts and minds are clear. I want to say thank you so much for being here. I put in the chat a link to the folder that has the Humorous Speech Contest kit that has this year's rule book and also has the International Speech Contest kit. You are welcome to that data, to those forms, to that information. I also put in the chat a link to the D14 contest channel on YouTube. So please, please take a look at those. I would also encourage you to continue or look for ways that you can build a speech collaborative. I'm calling it the Speech Fusion Collaborative, where you're joining with other areas or other clubs in your area to put together a speech contest. And you can combine those contests. You can have those people support you on a different date. However you do it, this is one way to hold a speech contest if you do not have enough members in your own club for the number of people that are required for a contest. Okay. Does anybody on the team have any closing remarks?
I would just recommend that since this contest, the humorous contest, doesn't have any number of speech prerequisites, all it requires is you be a paid member. This is a really good one for newer members to participate in, and to kind of, if they have a feeling that they want to compete at a higher level outside of the club level, this is a really good introduction to doing that, because there are no required number of speeches you have to do beforehand or something. So this is a good way to get some of your newer members involved in activities and outside of the club level.
Perfect. Thank you, Barbara. Anybody else on the team want to have any closing remarks? Brenda?
I just want to thank Linda for helping be my brain. I thank you all for coming to this training, and I think it was awesome.
Thank you, Miss Denise.
You are welcome.
Brenda or Roche, Sharon, Miss Linda, any closing remarks?
I just appreciate the past team taking time to help us out. And well, this is Sharon, and learning some new things. And I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to this. And I'm a rules person, so I'll definitely be on top of that. So just thank you for, and all the good questions they were asked that you don't think about. And you're like, oh, that's a great question. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Right.
Miss Linda?
Yep.
I was just going to say this has been great. District 14 has a wonderful contest team for this year and a wonderful chair in Toastmaster Teresa. I look forward to being part of this as I can, and look forward to being part of the district level contest too next year.
All right, perfect. Thank you. We are truly blessed to have you on this team. You are the brains of rules and knowledge that just pours out of you. I mean, I don't know how you do it, but we appreciate you being here. Let's see. I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much. And this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Linda, you want to stay on for just a second?
Huh?
Sure.
Okay.
You want Linda?